Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people would choose the members of the National Voice. All states and the Northern Territory would be represented by 2 National Voice members. The ACT would be represented by 1 or 2 members. The Torres Strait Islands would also be represented by 1 or 2 members. There would be instances where the members from the Torres Strait Islands represent the views of all Torres Strait Islanders, including those living on the mainland. This would occur for matters of national significance to Torres Strait Islanders. There are 2 ways members could be chosen. Model 1 is by choosing members from local and regional voices. Model 2 is by choosing members through an election process. Under both models, there would be gender balance among members. Under both models, there is also an option for a state or territory representative body for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people to select National Voice members if one exists. The National Voice could have up to 20 members. This could include 2 appointed members to fill gaps where needed, but only where the National Voice members and minister agree. For example, appointees could be used to ensure a mix of urban, regional, and remote members. Membership would be open to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. There could be an ethics council to provide advice to the National Voice on governance matters and ongoing integrity. 50% of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people are under 25 years of age, and 25% of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people live with a disability. Permanent youth and disability advisory groups would ensure those perspectives are captured by the National Voice.
The proposed National Voice would be an advisory body to both the Australian Parliament and the Australian Government. It could provide advice on national matters it decides are the most important to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. These matters would be prioritised by the National Voice. They would be on nationally significant matters of critical importance to the social, spiritual and economic well-being of, or which has a significant or particular impact on, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. The National Voice could be engaged from the early stages of the development of relevant laws and policies. It could provide both formal and informal advice. Parliament and the Government would be required to ask the National Voice for advice on laws and policies which only impact Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. They would be expected to ask the National Voice for advice on laws and policies that have a big impact on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. When a law is introduced to Parliament, it would be made clear if the National Voice has been asked for advice, if advice was provided, and what the advice is. The National Voice would add to what exists already. This means it would work with and talk to existing structures, not replace them. The National Voice would also connect with local and regional voices, ensuring it reaches into local communities. This would be a 2-way relationship. The National Voice would seek community input through local and regional voices. These elements support the role of the National Voice to have the right and responsibility on behalf of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Australians to advise Parliament and the Government on national issues that affect Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people.